Greetings and salutations. It is I, Professor Macabro, accompanied, like always, by my faithful cohort companion and sexy booty call, Zombie Deathcitos, as has been mentioned recently, the brains of the operation. Clearly, I'm the looks. I'm a sexy motherfucker. Indeed. And we are here to regale you with another movie review. Yes, indeed. Want to make this more frequent, you see, and talk about movies that I've seen recently. Because I do, on every Friday, watch a couple of movies while I make my little drinky drinks. And I just forget to talk about them, or have been doing so for a while. But now I wanted to do that more frequent, and we have a very good one if you are a wrestling fan. And even if you're not, if you're into low-budget action movies. Oh, yes. Like a lot of things that Professor Macabro comes across, I found this on the wild. I was scouring one of my many hunt locations, and I like going through boxes that people have there of DVDs, and I'm like, have it. Ooh, I don't have this. What is this about? Ooh, it sounds interesting. And I saw this, and I'm like, I need to get it. And got it, I did. And this is Bounty Hunters, starring Trish Stratus, Hall of Famer for the WWE. Yes, indeed. Trish Stratus was a manager for a tag team, but she was very liked because she was very pretty. I was always more of a Lita fan myself. Yes, indeed. Especially, even though it was quite controversial, especially during her time with Edge. Again, before your time, but Lita, muy caliente. Yes, indeed, and especially the shirts that she would almost wear because they were kind of short and would reveal some very nice attributes that I admired from Lita. But yes, I was always more of a Lita person myself. Or China. I like China, which is, yes, indeed, that's something else that we'll talk about later. But Trish Stratus, I respected Trish Stratus because she came in as a manager, and later on she was put into those gimmicky matches of the time, the bra and panty matches, which is just something to get people aroused, which I would assume it didn't happen to me, but I would assume it would make people confused, because they would watch a bra and panties match, and they would get aroused, and that would continue on to the male match, where you would see these oiled up beefy men grappling each other. I'm like, I would assume people would be like, I'm confused. I don't know why I have this thing up. Yes, must have made very people confused. But yes, I will admit that bra and panties era of WWE, well, it was very it didn't treat women well, you see. But Trish Stratus arose from that. She actually put in effort to train and make herself a proper wrestler, and the fans respected that. She was still eye candy, and of course there was that infamous moment with the old crazy old man Vince, where she put poor Trish Stratus on all fours and made her bark, and that really was very uncomfortable. It was for the storyline, and Vince did get his comeuppance at the end of it, but even and this is coming from Professor Macabro, and you all know the type of guy Professor Macabro is. But even I was like, this is definitely a bit too much, Vince. Might want to pull it back. This might come back to bite you in the ass. It turns out he did much worse. Oh, crazy old man Vince, you old fucker. But again, a lot of fans respected her, and now she's very beloved by all fans. She also did a comeback recently in WWE, and she was well received. She was started off as a hero, but turned into a heel, and everyone still loved Trish Stratus. And again, I really respect the work ethic that she did to become a better wrestler, and she became one of the best wrestlers. Her rivalries with Lita and Mickie James are the stuff of legends. Yes, indeed. And I didn't know she made this. She made an action movie. And I'm like, an action movie with Trish Stratus? I'm gonna get me some Stratusfaction, and I'm gonna buy it. And bought it I did. And I watched it again recently, and it's really a good movie, I must say. Yes, indeed. What is this movie about? Well, if the title did not give it away, Trish Stratus plays a bounty hunter. Yes, indeed. And she works with this... she's part of a 3-person group. There's the old grizzled leader, because you always have to have an old grizzled leader that seems to have a thing for Trish Stratus. And she has this low-budget Ryan Reynolds kind of guy. I don't know if he's a comedian, but he's always cracking jokes, and he looks pretty buff. So he's the muscle. Trish Stratus is the looks, but she's also a very good fighter. And the other guy's the planner. So they go around collecting bounties, and then gets the money and then splits it 3 ways. During her daytime job, Trish Stratus works as a bartender on a strip club. So you get your scene very reminiscent of that era of WWE with Trish Stratus in a schoolgirl outfit, and I'm not complaining. But then they capture this one fucker, and he's like, hey, let me go, and I'll lead you to a very juicier bounty. I'm only like, what, $1,000? I can get you a guy that's worth $100,000. And they check out, and everything's like, okay. But we're not going to let you go until we catch this other fucker. So they go, they catch the fucker, but it turns out that this guy was a snitch, or he has some sensitive information, so that's why he went into hiding. And this mob boss is like, look, you bounty hunter pieces of shit. You got this guy. I don't want him give it to the authorities, so I'm going to send a guy to give you $1 million. You give that fucker to my guy, and my guy's going to give you the $1 million. And they're like questioning whether or not they should do it. They go for Trish Stratus, and they're like, well, I don't want to do it. This is wrong. We're going to break the bounty rules, and the jacked up, not Ryan Reynolds, is going to lose this opportunity to get into the police force. And then the not Ryan Reynolds jacked up guy's like, I'm never going to get into the police force because I used to be a hockey player and I got an injury. And so they told me no, so I really need the money. So eventually they do agree to deliver the fucker to the other guy. And they send a hitman called Francis, I believe his name was. And everything's going okay. But then Trish Stratus gets a lapse of judgment, and she's like, no, this is wrong. You're just going to kill this fucker. And we can't be responsible for the death of a human being. So shots are fired. The whole deal goes tits up. And they don't get the money. Now, the 3 bounty hunters are on the run from the mob boss. And his hitman. So he sends a pair of assassins to get them. And you get this scene with Trish Stratus fighting against an Asian assassin chick in an ambulance. But she's taken hostage. And then things go awry again, and at the end you get the final brawl between the not Ryan Reynolds jacked up guy against the Asian assassin male, and you have the epic showdown between Trish Stratus and the Asian assassin female kicking ass. And I must say, I'm very, very impressed by the action and martial art moves expressed by Trish Stratus. Again, in this movie she's very, very beautiful to look at. I can't stress that enough. But she has some seriously good moves on her. She's kicking ass with this Asian chick and doing roundhouse kicks and submission moves. And I'm like, holy shit! How come you don't star in more action movies, Trish Stratus? You did pretty good. Now, I will say that this is a low-budget action film. It doesn't look like shit. It doesn't look like one of those shot on Shittio movies. But you can definitely tell it's a low budget. It's a little, in my opinion, it's a little above something that you would get for a made-for-TV movie. It looks like they did try to make some good effort with what they got. And again, the fight choreography is done pretty well. Again, Trish Stratus, she already has some skills, like I said before, as a wrestler, so she knows how to move around and sell a hit and so on. But I think she did amazingly in this. I highly, highly recommend, if you can, you track down Bounty Hunters with Trish Stratus, if you were a fan of Trish Stratus. this is right up your alley because you get some really good shots of Trish Stratus, and she showcases her acting chops, and she showcases her fighting chops. So it has a bunch of really cool stuff. But again, I have to, like I always try to do, I have to forewarn you that this is a low-budget movie, but it is a very well-done low-budget action movie, which I highly recommend if you're into this type of genre. And again, you're a Trish Stratus fan. I had a lot of fun with this second rewatch, and I will for sure probably revisit it in a couple of years. I'll probably do well, maybe I will do that. Well, no, not anymore, because I already saw this one and showcased it, but maybe one day I'll do a wrestler movie theme thing one day. Which, I think about it, I shouldn't have done that review, but I wanted to talk about it because it was really good. There are so many other movies with wrestlers in them that I can talk about, but I really wanted to showcase this one because, again, Trish Stratus, kicking ass! What's not to like? So I do recommend you track down a copy of this because it's muy bueno, indeed. Well, that was Bounty Hunters. Let me know if you grew up watching the old WWE back in the day, and which wrestler did you prefer? And if you have seen Bounty Hunters, what are your thoughts on it? Let us know in the comments down below. But this has been Professor Macabro, again accompanied by the lovely Zombie Deathcitos, thanking you for your time and wishing you all, like always, a good evening.